Every day, the Trump administration, through executive orders, he took away all kinds of rights for federal workers, the right to be represented by a union rep. He stopped that. So when they go in to meet their boss over an issue, you can't bring your rep in now. And government appointments. Every government appointment will be anti-union. Every single one. Every single one. Federal Railroad Administration, National Mediation Board people we work with, NLRA, on and on and on. So we have a lot to deal with as time goes by here. Now, railroaders and union members voted in large number for President Trump. In the states that, not that they all matter, of course, but in the states, what we call the key states, that really turned this election. So it was 68,000 votes that carried the day. Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, all union states. And there were several reasons why union members voted for him. I think the most important reason, I think the number one reason, was trade. I think that was very important. No one was doing anything about trade to help us. And Trump was the first person who really stuck to it, stuck to his guns, and took on trade. So I think that was the number one reason it carried the day for him. Even with the railroaders, who I don't think understand what trade means to them. Trade is railroad industry is a major beneficiary of trade. The industry itself currently, this is what they say, attributes 40% of their traffic and 50,000 freight railroad jobs to trade as it currently exists. So that's pretty significant. But notwithstanding that, when Trump talked about saving U.S. jobs and bringing back U.S. jobs, whoever talked about whoever talked about saving U.S. jobs, let alone bringing them back. So I think that hit home straight. Nobody wants to see an American plant close and move to Mexico. Everybody supports stopping that. I mean, every working person like us. So that was a real reason to support him. And nobody trusted Hillary Clinton on trade. We know that. She wasn't going to, I don't know what. I don't think any politician ever had any plans of doing anything about trade other than what's going on right now and has went on. So, okay, great. You had a great thing. You were doing a great thing for us. You're going to really help us out here. So what's he done? Aside from bringing Harleys to the front lawn of the White House, going to the Harley plant, meeting the workers who all voted for him, and their machinists, or going to the auto plant where they voted for him, he's done absolutely nothing. There has been nothing done. Nothing but talk. Nothing has been done to stop a plant closing. There's no jobs that have been brought back. It's all talk. Nothing is happening. Even Harley said they're going to close up here and go to Taiwan. The Oreo cookies he said he's never going to eat, he still ain't eating them. I'll tell you that, because they ain't coming back. Now we have tariffs. Okay, now tariffs, that's a good one too. We're fighting back. I don't know what tariffs mean. I mean, to be able to understand tariffs, I think you have to be an economist of way up there. So I don't profess to have a clue what they mean, okay? I think generally the American people think they like that. It sounds good, we're fighting back. But I haven't seen nothing good come yet other than all this potential talk of increased costs. So that one will have to play out because I don't know what that means. I think the biggest problem in trade is the American corporation. I think that is the single biggest problem for us, who simply close their plant here, lay you off, and relocate elsewhere for one and only one reason: the cheapest labor they can find. They could care less about you or your family or anything. So I really don't even think that's trade. I mean, I haven't heard other people talk like that, but I don't believe when you think of trade, that is really trade. I think that's simply replacement of American workers by American companies. Not by foreign companies, by American companies. It's American companies making American products in Mexico, as I use that as an example, and bringing those American products back here to sell to you when they laid off your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, to accomplish that. And you're not going to compete with Mexico or China on wages, or Taiwan. We're talking $1 an hour, $2 an hour. The assembly plant in Mexico is paying $2 an hour after a couple years, versus an auto worker here in the United States, making what, $40 an hour? So you put whatever you want on, tariff you want on that. You think that's going to change anything? You can't compete with that. It's not possible. They have the low wage advantage. And American companies, automotive companies, are investing billions of dollars building huge assembly plants in Mexico. So what we really need, we need a law that simply says, Mr. Corporation, you are not relocating to another company if that means laying off American workers. And no one is talking about that. No one, no politician ever said we need a law to stop you from leaving this country. But I think in this whole trade thing, looking for somebody to save us, we just got conned, that's all. Another big factor for railroaders was coal. I mean, I know coal. I'm a railroader. I love coal, okay? Hillary made it very clear she was going to put them out of business. And you remember that when she said that? And To me, that was like taking a knife and going right it like that, to me and to you. And it was so stupid to say that. And Trump, he's smart. He's going to save the industry. Well, we love that. And that had appeal to us. And that's why railroaders voted for him. And unfortunately, that is very understandable. I could see that. But here again, what really happened to coal? And where is coal? Well, coal's heyday, it's not coming back. It's never coming back. And I fought environmental regulation. I'm one of the few union representatives who fought environmental regulations against coal, who fought green, anything green, green energy, anything that's going to mess with coal. Not that I want to pollute the country or anything. It's just that's how we make our livelihood. So somebody else will have to figure it out because I can't. And I'm one of the few union leaders who stood up against other union leaders in support of the coal industry at the AFL-CIO Executive Council meeting. Because all them other unions are just, falling over themselves. Coal built the railroad industry. It goes way back with us, all the way. And I would even go as far as to say, through the years, coal built this country. It was the energy. But those days are gone. It is not the energy anymore, not because of anything we did, or even the environmental regulations, or anything Hillary did or would do. It's dying a slow death because of economics. We have developed fracking that is extremely successful. It's cheap, and we have natural gas in abundance like we never even knew possible. We have so much natural gas, not only can we take care of the whole United States, we're ready to export it. And everybody loves natural gas. They don't like the fracking, but once they get the fracking out of the way and they got the natural gas, they're happy. They figure that out, but that's true. And even, this is one of the most astounding things I just recently learned this. Even nuclear plants are closing in the United States. I think we all would say nuclear plant, well, that's where we're going. It's going to be everything's nuclear plants. There won't be anything else. I guess it runs forever or something. But that's not the case, I just learned. They can't compete with the cheapness of natural gas. Well, that is an amazing statistic. So coal and nuclear plants, they're closing. And when I say coal, when I mean coal, it's coal-fired electric plants. They're closing or being refitted. We're not going to lose electricity. They're being refitted, or whatever the technical words are, to operate on natural gas as their energy versus coal. And no one's going to change that. You never heard Trump ever one time mention the word natural gas. And never. He knows what he's doing. So here again, we're going to save the industry and get all these jobs. And so what happened? Nothing. It's a lot of talk, no action. Well, some little coal plant where you read about it, opened up or something. It's nothing. It means nothing in the scheme of things. So what are we doing? We're breaking the union shop agreement. That's what the hell we're doing. And that is on the road to reducing our wages. That's what that's all about. It's all about money, that the money stays with the powerful and the rich. So how's that working for us? Voting for Trump. What have we got from it? I think if you're waiting for something to happen that's going to be great for America, I think you're waiting for hell to freeze over. That's what I think. So I think as we go into our legislative report and MMPL report, we need to understand where we're at. I mean, and I think you do. I think most people, I think all of us realize what we did and what we got, and the chances of us even getting what was promised were slim to none, but we liked somebody's doing something for us, and we felt other people were not. But in many cases, yes, they're not. They're limited too. The union's not going to get everything it wants politically. We're not that powerful anymore. But we do okay. I mean, our union does good. Railroaders have always done good politically. But we have a lot of Republicans that we work with on the Hill. But it's going to take a lot of pain, I think, before people feel the need, if they ever feel the need, to change their vote this November. So now let's talk about what we do on Capitol Hill. Our union has had a very long, effective history in legislative activities in Washington. For us, almost everything we do is covered by federal law. Our pension that we talk so much about, well, that's a law. It's a federal law. And while we want to feel as secure as we can with it, these people can do anything. I mean, you heard Walt tell you that Ryan proposed to do away with 30/60. Yes, he did. He just thought that was a dandy idea. And we got a lot of money. It's in the U.S. Treasury. I don't like it being there, but there ain't nothing I could do about that. It's there. That's where our money is. And it comes from the Treasury. It goes, it's federal, it's taxes. It's collected by the IRS. That's what real retirement is. So while we have a lot of control, we were able to do things, at the end of the day, it's still in the power of the Senate and the congressmen and the president. And if those people feel that in our favor, we're fine then. Just like when we made the changes, we're lucky we were able to make them at the end of the day. Passing legislation is like 1 in a million, even whatever kind of legislation is. It's the most difficult thing to accomplish. And so we did a fabulous job there. So rare retirement, collective bargaining. I talked about New Jersey Transit. We had 2 PEBs that were appointed by President Obama. Each one of them was beautiful. It was a pleasure working with them. And they were on our side, so to speak. They were sympathetic to labor. Their mindset was, we are good people. We should be listened to. Not, we're a threat to the economy. That's what we're going to get now. People are going to, when they go review our contracts, you're a threat to the economy. Oversight and regulation. You know, Rich talked about that the other day at the Carmen Division Convention. It's vital to the Carmen, FRA. It's vital to every one of us. And the Surface Transportation Board, they deal with mergers and shipping, and they're so important. And then we have the Transportation Infrastructure Committee in the House of Representatives. There's jurisdiction over the Railway Labor Act. Most railroad legislation originates there. That's where our railroad retirement bill originated, in the T&I, it's called T&I Committee. Twice we had because we lost the first time we tried to move rail retirement. So we had to reintroduce the bill in the next Congress. Things like that are pretty much unheard of in Washington, but we were able to do it. And to deal with that T&I committee, you got to have both parties, because nothing gets done in there unless both parties are on board. And we work hard to have Republicans who support our issues. So it's vital to our members, you know, when they complain about politics or something that the union does in politics, if we're not there, we're not going to keep what we have.